Stranding livestock is a common practice, but once in a while, we take such actions for granted. This man failed to see the danger involved in such a barbaric custom. Swimming with sharks is nothing new. Divers routinely come face to face with nature's fiercest predators. However, there's usually a steel cage keeping the sharks at a relatively safe distance. But there is a group of enthusiasts known as free divers who go underwater without cages or air tanks to both hunt and reconnect with nature. Videographer Tom Lyon joined a group of these adventurers in a reconnection that almost cost him his life.
There were a lot of sharks present, and that's not unusual because there's a lot of sharks present on a lot of the dives. The sharks were a little more amped than usual. They were at a level where you have to be very cautious.
Despite the sharks' agitation, these were very experienced divers, and they decided to finish their hunt.
The diver shot the fish, grabbed it quickly so it stopped gyrating, but now we had a bleeding fish around us. The sharks were starting to rise up closer and closer to us.
The divers had to act fast before the sharks attacked. They decided to drop the fish, an action that usually causes it to slide hundreds of feet down the trail line, far enough to send the sharks out of harm's way.
He dropped the fish 30 feet approximately. It was too close to us. The sharks ravaged the fish. It was gone in a second. And the sharks did something I'd never seen them do. They turned and came straight up. I had about a second to think, so this is how it ends.
As Lyon and the divers wondered if they were going to become the sharks' next victims, the chase boat finally arrived.
You have to try to get out of the water, and that's the next hardest thing. There's always the transition where your feet are left dangling in the water, and in those moments, there's a lot of doubt. You let your fear go, you drop down in the midst of them, and for a few moments, you're permitted to swim with these animals. And for a lot of us, that's as close as it gets to God. Now, of course, the trick is to stay near to God and not to meet him. Not right away, anyway.
Tourists flock to the Grampians region outside Melbourne, Australia to see the kangaroos. On one fall afternoon, a visitor brings his English cousin to feed the large marsupials, completely oblivious to the immense power and unpredictability of these unusual creatures.
Good. You right? Huh?
There is no explanation for the kangaroo's attack, but the consequences were severe. The thrashing by the kangaroo's razor-like claws leaves the man with severe cuts to the face and a slash to the groin that required 30 stitches.